Good day, welcome back to the flight deck. We are here in Montgomery, Alabama, and today we're going to make it back out to the East Coast, and that being the state of Florida. We're heading down to the capital city of Tallahassee in Florida, and we're once again back in the de Havilland Dash-7. We'll just come out here and take a look. There she is sitting on the ramp here in Tallahassee, or in Montgomery. We're heading down to Tallahassee, and it's a beautiful day to go flying. Once again, pretty cloudless, so we'll get ourselves set up and ready to go. So parking brake is set, throttle levers are flight idle, control lock is engaged, condition levers are in fuel shut off, flaps are up, batteries are off, wipers are off. Let's make sure the heat's off at the moment. Circuit breakers are checked, weather radar is off, oxygen quantity and mass are all checked. Let's start getting the aircraft up and running. So battery on, AC generators on, and DC generators are on. Left and right batteries are going to come on now. DC external power is now on. Bus tie is closed. We have DC and load and volt, so we are good there. DC generators 1 through 4 are all off as well. Popping up to the overhead. Flight data recorder is normal. ELT is now on. We get the lights up for a little bit of visibility. There we go. Alright, fuel T-handles are all pushed in. Smoke and fire test is all done. They don't actually do anything when you do the when you pull them down, so no point. But we'll consider them all done. Down to the lower section of the overhead, windshield wipers are off and heaters are off. Airframe de-ice is off. Pitot-static heaters are off. Propeller heat is off. Battery temperatures are coming up. Position light is now on. Engine ignition is normal. Engines 1 through 4. Auxiliary fuel pumps are off for engines 1 through 4. Fuel transfer is off. Valves are closed. Engine start switch is off, and cabin pressurization is set to auto. AC control, external power is off, inverters are set to left bus, AC generators 1 through 4 are off, engine bleeds 1 through 4 are off, temperature control is set to automatic for cabin and flight deck, and system is turned on. Seatbelt signs are on, no smoking signs are on, and the emergency exit lights are armed. Alright, so let's get the passengers on board. We have 46 today, and they can all get on board the aircraft as we get ready to go. So looking at the clocks, it is currently 2:34 local time here in Montgomery, Alabama. So the clocks are synced up. Flight taxi switch is set to taxi. GPWS is tested. Yaw damper is normal and guarded. Landing lights, taxi lights are now in the off position. PFCS is lights are off. Autopilot set to captain's side. Caution and advisory lights. Caution lights are up. And there they are. And advisory lights are all looking good. Circuit phase is off. And anti-skid is now on. Coming down to my side. Steering is off. Stall and overspeed warnings are tested. Flight instruments are all looking good. And we will now grab the local weather. And as mentioned, it is looking very nice out today. ATC has come online. Atlanta center is up. So as you can see in the chat, we have basically no winds. It is dead quiet. 10 miles of visibility. There's a few clouds at 4,000 feet, 28 degrees, 9 or 8. So we'll come down and set our altimeter to 9 or 8. There's the standby, and we'll get Roger's side done as well as he's doing the walk around. 9 or 8 is done. So altimeters are set. We'll turn the DMEs on. Get myself over to DME 1. Get you up there. Hydraulic quantities are checked and good, and we have pressure in the brake system. I just put out a new video. Good. Let's get over here to some brief. 13,000 feet is going to be our cruise altitude for today's flight. Sorry, we have 45 passengers, not 46. So we'll dial in 13,000 feet. .13,000 feet is now in and set. Prop auto feather is off. Intake engine intake deflectors are all retracted. Engine instruments are looking good. Gear mute warning horn test is complete. Pitch and roll disconnect handles are pushed in. Weather radar again is done. We did get an auto ATC when I logged into VATSIM, but the controller is now online, so he'll give us one. So we're good there. Comms, we're going to come down here. We're going to set 122.8 for Unicom. We'll need that once we are in the air. But we're going to set up Atlanta Center on 132.975. So 132, and we want 975. We'll make sure that is correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. This is your flight attendant.
And now for the nav radio. So we're going to be doing a couple of VORs as per normal. First VOR is going to be the Montgomery VOR 112.1.
Please don't hesitate to let
So we'll get that in.
know, and we would be happy to help you. If the overhead bin is full, please
The next VOR we're going to be heading to is the RRS VOR of
Please double
111.6.
check that all your items are put away so that the aisle is clear and other passengers
And we'll
can
dial
enter
that one
their
in
seats.
here,
If you're in an emergency
111.6.
exit row, please read the exit
The next one after that will be
responsibilities in
the
card and the feedback in
MAI
front of you.
VOR of
If you're not able
114.
to comply with these actions, please
And
let
that
a
is
flight
now
attendant
dialed in
know.
as
That
well.
way you can be reseated. Feel free to use your cell phones during the rest of the boarding
So our initial
process,
heading
but
when we
do
take
ask
off,
that
we
laptops,
just check
tablets,
my
and any
charts.
other larger electronic devices are stowed once we depart from the gate. Thank you, and welcome aboard.
We are going to be flying a heading of 145 degrees. That is going to be our intercept for the radial that we're going to want. So we'll dial this around to 145. There we go. Runway heading, which is the initial heading we're going to be flying out on, will be 09 or 7 degrees. So we'll dial this around to runway heading for the initial departure. So we go there, and that is good for that. All right. I'm going to switch our displays over to VOR. And there we go. So we're set to VORs on both sides. Flight instruments on Roger's side are check for spoil. Roll switches are set. We'll get the lights up as well. Just to make sure we got a little bit of visibility in the shadows. So down to here, parking brake is set, control locks are in, throttle levers are flight idle, fuel control levers are in fuel, shut-off flaps are up and in agreement at 0, flight idle gate is closed, light is on, autopilot, yaw damper are off, trims are set for takeoff. Alright, we can contact Atlanta and get clearance from him. So we'll switch over. And we'll give him a shout. Looking at runway 10 and an initial altitude and
American 628, Atlanta
Squawk
Center, runway
code.
36 center, taxi via Mike Echo, cross runway 5.
We're on your time
all right,
now.
everybody's in the back. I'll get our clearance first before we go on to the next step here. Atlanta Center, good afternoon. Allegheny 32 on the ground at Montgomery, looking for our IFR clearance down to Tallahassee.
Allegheny 32, Atlanta Center. You're clear to Tallahassee Airport as filed. Maintain 10,000. Expect 13,000. 10 minutes after departure. Departure this frequency, squawk 7134.
Roger, cleared as filed. Maintain 10,000. Expect 13,000. 10 minutes after departure. Squawking 7134 and will remain on this frequency. Allegheny 32.
Allegheny 32, Rebecca, correct.
All right, so we're going to come down here to our transponder, which is here. 7132 will be our code. So 7132. And we are set there. So with everybody on board, we can pop around to the back, get that door closed, and they can finish up inside the aircraft. So before engine start, we're going to be starting on the stand
Good
here.
afternoon, ladies and
Not
gentlemen,
doing a
and
push. So
welcome
take off
aboard
speeds and
Flight
data, get
32
doors and
to
windows
Service
are
2,
closed.
Florida. Our flight time will be roughly
Anti-collision light
48 minutes.
is now on.
Please note
Parking
the cabin
emergency
doors now
brakes
closed. We ask that
are
you make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger
set. Power
devices
levers
now
are
shut
still
down
in
and
flight.
stowed.
Idle condition
If you have
levers
not
are
already,
fuel shut
please
off.
fasten your
And the
seatbelt
DC
verify that
generators
it's low
for
and tight
engines 1
across your
through
lap.
4 are
Your
now
tray tables and seat
on.
backs must be in the full upright and locked position for
No
departure.
pushbacks. So we're going to be starting engines
Please prepare
3,
cabin
4,
for departure
2,
and
1
cross
in
check.
that sequence. At the moment, yes.
Atlanta Center, Spirit Winds 1005. Review flight over 380.
Strings 1005, Atlanta Center, welcome.
And Atlanta Center, Allegheny 32, ready to start on the stand.
Allegheny 32, starts at your discretion.
Roger, do you want us to contact you for taxi or once airborne?
You can contact me for taxi.
Will do, Allegheny 32. All right, engine starts are good, so we're good to go. Let's go. Engine number 3 and starting engine 3. Looking for 20% on the end gauge. There we go. And adding fuel. There we go. We'll use that view there for this side. Get those engines up.
When the seatbelt light is on, please make sure that your seatbelt is fastened low and tight across
There's
your lap.
70%.
To fasten, insert the metal fittings into one another.
Start selector
Tighten
off,
by
selecting
pulling on the
engine number
loose end of the
4.
strap.
Clear 4.
To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. In the event that the seatbelt light is not on, we suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened in case of unexpected turbulence.
There we go.
There
Adding
are several
fuel.
emergency exits.
Yep. I did hear about that. But I try to keep politics and stuff out of the chat. Just keep it aviation related. There we go. Good start up on engine number 4. So coming off, switching over to engine number 2, starting engine 2.
In the event that the pilot decides to take us for a swim, a fashionable
I will
life
not be
vest is
taking anyone
located
for
in
a
the
swim
top
as we're not going anywhere near the ocean.
When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch.
All right,
and remove
adding
the
fuel.
vest. Flip it over your head.
There's engine 2. Well, yeah, that is true. But I think that story is more about the politics than it is anything else.
We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight.
Alright,
Tampering
we're good
with,
on
disabling,
engine
or
number
destroying
2.
the
Start her
smoke
off,
detectors
over to
located
engine
in the
1.
laboratories is
Starting
prohibited
1.
by law. All of this information and more can be found in the safety card located in the seat back in front of you. We suggest
And
using
adding
this
fuel
and let us
for
know
engine
if you
number
have
1.
any questions. Thank you for flying with us, and we hope you enjoy your flight.
There we go. Good start on engine number 1. And we are up to 70, so starter switch can come off.
Falcon 628 fly, we're heading 330, runway 36 on
Switching over now. Parking brake is still set. Start selector switch is off. DC external power is disconnected. DC volts and load are checked. Battery temperature is fine. AC generator is coming on. 1 through 4 engine bleeds are now going to low. Engines 1 through 4. Scranton, Ohio. Flight director is coming on both sides and are on. PFCS lights are off. Prop auto feather is cell green. Engine intake deflectors are retracted. Engine instruments are looking good. All 4 engines, temperatures and pressures are all up and good. Hydraulic pressure in all 3 systems is good as well. Weather radar is in op. Flap set 15 for departure. Flight control check. It's full forward, full back, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, left rudder, right rudder, neutral. Elevator trim is still set for takeoff. Yaw damper is coming on. De-ice pressure is checked. Ground equipment is removed. Condition levers for engines 1 through 4 are going into maximum RPM. Transponder is going to come on now. And go to mode C. And taxi light is on. And we are ready to taxi. Going to pull the engines back slightly. And get us good to go. Atlanta Center, Alligator 32 is ready for taxi.
Alligator 32, runway 10, taxi via Alpha.
Runway 10, taxi via Alpha for Alligator 32. All right, we're going to head straight out. There's Alpha down there. We're going to follow it down to the end of the runway. We can see the windsock. Winds are heading that way, so we are good. So, manual braking, emergency brakes are released, and away we go.
So, running 649 Atlanta Center, welcome.
Head out. So we're going to swing down here.
Atlanta Center, good day. FedEx 2904, wish you flight level 350.
This is Alpha right ahead.
FedEx 2904, Atlanta Center, welcome.
Scranton, Pennsylvania. Okay. I take it that's where you are? Is Alpha 3. We're going to head all the way down to Alpha 7 at the far end.
The cabin is ready.
Cabin is ready to go. So we are picking up the VOR.
Blanca 21,
Montgomery
contact on
VOR.
approach on 133.47. Good day.
Which is good. Again, these are generic default airports in the sim, but the trees and the foliage and some of the ground texture is being provided by Rex Advanced, or AccuSeasons Advanced. So we're getting some nice late spring colors coming in down here in Alabama. We're just going to head down to the end of the runway. We'll be departing off to the east. And town of Montgomery will be off our pilot side window when we depart out. Flight time for today's flight is approximately 50 minutes, and we should be, or we will be cruising at 13,000 feet for the trip, which is not going to take that long. So the short hop down to Florida. So because he gave us the runway with no intersection, we are going to take the entire runway. Down here at Alpha 7. Take us a minute to get ready. We got a whole bunch of check items to go through once we're here. And we are here. So windshield heat is coming on. PO static heaters are on. Engine bleeds are set for low, ignition is set for normal, auxiliary fuel pumps 1 through 4 are on, flight taxi switch to flight. Engine intake deflectors are closed, control locks are off, condition levers for all engines are maximum RPM, flaps checked 15, flight controls are checked. Trim is set for takeoff, caution lights are checked, and that's our ground spoilers deployed, we're good there. Cabin, we'll give them a ding just to let them know we are ready to go. Transponder is on mode C. TCAS is good. Landing lights are now on both sides. Anti-collision light is white and strobe lights are on. Atlanta Center, Allegheny 32, holding short, runway 10, ready to go.
Allegheny 32, fly, runway heading, runway 10, clear for takeoff.
Fly runway heading. For Allegheny 32, clear for takeoff, runway 10.
Special aircraft, Atlanta Center will be back in 1 minute.
Alright, we're going to be flying runway heading for 1 minute till he gets back. Come out here, take position, and then we'll do our procedure for getting this aircraft up and going. Nicely lined up. Alright, lined up, brakes are set. L4 engines are maximum RPM. Engine intake deflectors are retracted. Engine power levers coming up to 3200. Ground spoilers have closed. Auto feathers armed, brakes released, takeoff power set. Airspeed's live, 50 knots. It's 90 knots, back pressure. And we're at positive rate, gear coming up.
Center's back.
Right. We're cruising along. Autopilot is...
Signature 28 Atlanta Center. Clear direct bar me, climb maintain, 50370.
So we're on heading mode. And we're going to go airspeed mode. And we're going to set our cruise power now. So engine's coming back to 3500.
You said a joke?
And 107 is set on the...
Oh! I'm kind of slow. Thank you.
On the props, and then we're coming up to 4,400. There we go. And we're climbing out.
So the 16 Foxtrot Atlanta Center, welcome.
And there we go. Atlanta Center, Allegheny 32, climbing through 1,400.
Allegheny 32, Atlanta Fenella, climbing team 13,000, clear direct Romeo Sierra.
Roger, clear to 13,000 and direct Romeo Sierra for Allegheny 32. So cleared down to the Romeo Sierra VOR. We're cleared to 13,000, which is where we're headed. We go alt select. We're going to turn to pick up the VOR. Stop zooming in. Gentle.
Lost 729 Atlanta Center with a contact hello, climbing tank level 400.
So we're going to go to about a angle like that. Keep going. All right, flaps up.
Response 16 Foxtrot, descend at pilot discretion, maintain flight level 240.
And away we go.
Okay, flight level 240, 16 Foxtrot.
So we're not picking up the RSS VOR yet, but we're going to come in and intercept the radial for the MGM VOR, and that should head us down in that direction. The VOR is off to our 2 o'clock at the moment. And we'll be leaving their airspace just after we pass the town of Troy. So unless Jacksonville, I believe it's Jacksonville, and unless Jacksonville Center comes online, that will be it for ATC for this flight. So the weather currently down in Tallahassee has the winds out of the north. So we're going to be landing on runways 36. I've got the ILS for 36 pulled up. And we'll be flying past the airport, turning around and coming back. And there's an overcast layer at about 4,000 feet down there. Actually, while we're here, let's see if there's an update to this aircraft.
FedEx 2904, clear direct Wazer.
FedEx 2904, clear direct Wazer.
No, 1.64 is still the most current one. That's the one I'm using here. I was hoping to get a little bit of a better version with the rocking here on the autopilot, but it's all good. A little bit of extra power in the engines, keep it at that 4,400 or just above. Try to maximize our climb rate. 7,000 feet. See the needles coming in now on the radial. I'm going to be picking it up very shortly. We'll switch over to nav mode and we'll fly the beam down to the Romeo Sierra VOR, which is the Wiregrass.
Soaring 649, Washington offline, frequency change approved, good day.
Not much traffic out this way either. It's pretty quiet. There we are on the needle, so we'll switch over to nav mode. I'll start tracking that outbound down to our destination VOR. Or at least the first VOR we're heading to at the moment.
Delta 425, you up?
Yeah, 350.
Welcome.
So we're waiting for VOR2 to kick
Delta
over.
425, squawk 7763.
Probably won't happen
7763,
for
425.
another 30 miles. It's at low power. So we've only got about 6 legs or so left of this tour, which means we'll be finishing it next week. And then we're going to switch over to something a little bit different. We're going into helicopters.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now passed 10,000 feet. You may turn on
10,000
larger
feet.
portable electronic
Landing lights
devices.
are off. We'll turn the
This is
takeoff
also
light
a
off.
reminder to please keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the duration of the flight.
Should do the rest
Not
of my,
form a line near the lavatory.
After takeoff. So cruise power set, landing gear is up and retracted. Flaps are confirmed up. Engine intake deflectors are closed. Flight idle gate
Delta 425,
is
is
in
maintain
and
level
light is
240.
out. Taxi light is off.
Down 240,
Ignitions are
Delta
fine.
425. We have Alpha.
Auxiliary
Yep.
fuel pumps are off. Engine bleeds are set to low. Cabin is pressurizing nicely. It's 11,000 feet, 2,000 to go. We went alt select. Selected. So we will capture 13,000 feet.
Listen, 16 Foxtrot cross Aussie at maintain 14,000. Atlanta altimeter is 3000.
Then I said 140 altimeter is 3001, so 1000.
Vector 628, Washington offline, for good to take approved. See ya.
It's 12,000 feet, 1,000 to go. And we just start making out that cloud layer down by the water, in the Gulf of Mexico in this case. It's going to be the cloud layer we're going to be dealing with when we come into land. Heard the click. We're over into altitude capture mode. Well, I hope you enjoy it, Tommy. It's your personal stream right now. Alright, so 13,000 feet. We are going to want to set our cruise power based on engine burn, and at 13,000 feet, it's 400 pounds of fuel per engine per hour. So as we come down to level off, we will set that. So propellers are set for 107, which is actually 10,700 RPM. And we're going to pop down here now. And we're going to set 400 pounds per hour for the fuel, which is going to be our cruise power setting. So we're going to bring the power up. And there we go. We're at full power. We're just a hair under 400 pounds per hour. So we're giving her all she's got at the moment. And we got a decent cruise. 200 and it's still balancing out, but 238 knot ground speed. It's not too bad. Alright, so we're going to keep flying this until we get in the next VOR. Once we get that, we'll be able to switch over and fly a more direct heading.
Allegheny 32, Jacksonville Center's offline, frequency change approved. Have a good one.
Roger, over to Unicom for Allegheny 32. Good day. Alright, so we're over into Unicom now. And I was saying it is a low power VOR on 111.6. So it's about 35 to 40 miles out where it'll kick in. We're about 25 out. We got to be about 30, 35 miles out from the Montgomery one before that will show up. So we're just going to cruise along here. We got 251 knots now. That's pretty good.
We will be serving complimentary drinks and snacks. Please look in your seat back for our list of complimentary and premium drinks. Premium drinks are available for a small charge. If you wish to make an additional purchase, please note that we only accept credit cards.
Alright, so we're 13,000 feet. We want to go down to a altitude of 1,600. We'll call it 2,000 feet for the platform. So that's a descent of 11,000 feet. So 5 miles per thousand. That's for 10,000 feet. That's going to be 50 miles. But let's use the calculator here. So we want to go 11,000 feet at 150 knots, slow speed descent. So on a 3-degree flight path, which is about 900 feet per minute. So 11,000 divided by, that's 11 times 10, or 11 times 3 is 33, add 10, 43. So 43 miles out is roughly where we want to begin our descent. Looking at distances, so somewhere around 20 miles out of SZW is where we're going to begin our descent. Still not picking up number 2, but I am going to check and see where we switch over into Florida. So Ozark Airport, that's Alabama. That's Alabama. That's oh, we got pretty low. Marianne, that's Florida. That's Georgia. Oh, okay. So roughly around the MAI VOR is where we switch over to Florida. Oh, we just picked up the other VOR. So we're going to go into heading mode. We'll lock in the heading. Come down, we'll switch over to 110.6. We're now on to the other VOR. We'll pick up the radio that we're on that will have us directly to it, and we will go into nav mode. Now we can set up for the next one. Alright, so coming over here, we can see 114.0 is in there, so we're going to go 114.0. We're not picking it up, that's fine. After 114.0, the next VOR is the Sierra Zulu Whiskey VOR 117.5. So we're going to dial that in. 117.5. So that's now in the standby over there. We've got the next one lined up, which we're not picking up yet, which is set in standby on 1, and the next VOR 40 miles away is in right there. And we're doing about 252 knot closure speed for the RSS VOR, which is good. We got a nice light wind blowing, and if we pull up the weather and I look at my winds at 14,000 feet, actually the winds are fairly light. It's only about 10 knots, so not too bad. Down into southern Alabama now. There's that cloud cover. A little bit higher over to the west. Peters out to the east. showing anything significant. It's just a low overcast layer, and there's no weather showing in here. And very, very light little patches of rain, if anything. A little bit of moisture here and there. Nothing to worry about for the flight. Professional multitasker. Yeah, you can just have this on the background. I mean, it's nothing too exciting as we're cruising along here. And we're down to 104 miles to go, direct line to the destination airport as we head down towards Florida. Looks like Atlanta Center just went offline too. So look, we had that little bit of ATC coming in. We'll get the CTAF for Tallahassee, just so we can tune it when we get there. It's KTLH 1187. So we'll dial that in now. 1187. There we go. 1187 is set. So the MAI VOR is also a low power, but it's only 34 miles away from the RSS, so we should have it by the time we get there. A little bit of turbulence. Fuel's looking good. A little bit of the sun. There's our view as we're coming up. Fortunately, with these type of aircraft, we're flying down and where it's a little bit more turbulent than up high. So you do feel it a little bit more. As mentioned, I think there's 6 more flights after this one. And that'll have us going through the southern coastal states, Georgia, the Carolinas, stuff like that, as we wrap up this series of visiting all 48 states in the contiguous lower 48. Do videos where we have an emergency. I don't do it on purpose, because I just like flying along. But I have had issues where things have gone wrong. I had a cargo door open flying out of Vancouver. We had to return because the aircraft depressurized, and that was me screwing up. But I just played it out, so. We did that and stuff. But trying to do flights like this where I'm trying to do things in a series, if I have an emergency and I have to call it short, then I just got to redo the trip, right? So we'll just let it go. But sometimes things happen. Sometimes we do fun things where we're flying aircraft into places where they don't usually go and stuff. And we've gone to the small airports, did landing challenges and stuff like that. But for this series, we're just visiting the state, just flying along, state to state. All right, so we're about 10 miles out. I've gone on to heading mode. We're still not picking up the next one. But what we're going to do is we're going to dial in now. We're going to want the 157 radial down to the next one. So we'll get that dialed in just so it's ready. We'll see if that pops in over there on nav 2. We'll just hold this heading until we get that radial, and then we'll adjust as required. One of the sad things that's starting to happen is the VORs are being removed. There was one removed up by me that I used when I was flying. It's now gone, which is not good. Oh, there we go. She's kicked in. So as we're in heading mode, we'll come down and just switch over to the next one, which is 114. We'll get that set up over there. Pop over here. And after 114, this one's going to go over to 117.5. That's 6, that's 0.5. And we're picking that one up as it's a bit of a higher power. That's the SWVOR 84 miles away. All right. So we still want that 157 radial. This time it's going to be down to MIA. So once that comes in, we'll head down, get that locked in. It is slowly coming in. And we're coming in over that cloud layer now. And this should carry on right down to the Gulf. We're now 76 miles away. Direct line to the airport. Although our track mileage is going to be a little bit more. Pretty close here, so we'll just crank that around and we'll head off that way down to the next VOR. After we pass MIA, we can get ready and start entering in the information for the ILS that we're going to be doing. Out the windows. And we got that cloud coming in. You can see on both sides. Alright, 27 miles out. A nice 258 knot ground speed, which is doing good. 22 miles. So let's take a look at the board down in Tallahassee, see if there's anybody else going in there. Yeah, we have a Delta Airlines MD-82 is headed out of there towards, I don't know where they're going. Let's see. Where are you heading to? Atlanta. And we're inbound. That aircraft has not left. He's still on the ground. That's pretty interesting. Miles. Switch over now. We can pick up the other one. We can see it at 60 miles out. So we're going to go over to 117.5. That's now in, and we're going to leave 117.5 over on nav 2. That one won't change. But over here, I'm going to put in the course first. It's 114. Something around there. We'll fine tune when we get there. But I do want the ILS frequency, which is going to be 110.3. That's going to go into the standby here. So that when we get into that position, we'll be good to go. And it's going to be a heading of 004 degrees for that ILS. So we are getting down towards the Florida border. Fine cloud up at this altitude and above us. A couple miles to go and then we'll make that turn. And we'll get the rest of the information for the ILS approach. Again, 20 miles out from this next VOR is where we're going to begin our descent downwards. There. All right, so we're just going to head off now. So we are pretty good there. So we'll make the turn. As we come over the VOR, we're going to head off to the next one, which is 45 miles away, And again, when we get to about 20 miles, that's when we're going to begin our descent downwards. Once we hit the VOR, we're going to turn on a heading of about 190. We're going to fly to the west of the airport in the city. Be about 190, so we'll get our heading indicator set up for that. Here we are coming onto the radial now. Alright, so we're about 20 miles from our top of descent, so we can finish getting ourselves set up here. If we have to do a missed approach, we're going to climb directly to 4,000 feet, back up to the SZW VOR and hold, which is why it'll be on nav 2, it'll be the big orange needle. If we have to do that, and we're going to go into a hold at 4,000 feet. So we'll reset for 4,000 and then we'll climb up from there if we need to. Direct in ILS, category C and D. Well, we're a category B, I think, but 200 feet. So it's going to be 262 feet above the ground, 200 feet on the radar altimeter. We'll set that up. Come in here so we can see it. That is now set 200 feet there. We'll get an update on the weather so we can reset our altimeters. Tallahassee weather temperature is 26.7 degrees, 7 knots coming out of 020, so 36 is still the active runway for us. 10 miles visibility, 4,200 foot ceiling with overcast. 2.995 is the current barrow. So we're going to come down here and go to 9.995. It's 4 hours till sunset. It's 2.995 and 2.995 is set on Roger's side. Alright, so the weather is looking good. Just got to get down through that cloud layer. And we'll be all good there. So when we hit the SZW VOR, we are directly north of the airport. So once you come down, we're going to be landing on 36. We're going to exit to the right, and then we're going to head down to the south side of the airport, which is at the terminal ramp area, and that's where we'll be parking. There's a bunch of other ramps and FBOs and all that type of stuff, but the terminal ramp is on the south side of the airfield. So that's where we're going to head. Alright, we're down to 27 miles out. We'll begin descending down at about 20 miles. Again, we've got to fly down past the airport and then come back up the other side. So we're going to set an initial descent of about 5,000 feet, and then we'll adjust from there. Again, 1,600 feet is our capture for platform. For about a 900 foot per minute descent rate. Try to keep that speed around the 180 mark while we do that. And we're on Unicom 122.8. Once we're below 10,000 feet, we'll switch over to 118.7, which is the CTAF common traffic advisory frequency for Tallahassee Airport. But up here, a little bit higher altitude, we're on the main Unicom for VADSIM. 20 miles coming up. Tallahassee area traffic, Allegheny 32, leaving 13,000 feet, descending down for the ILS runway 36 Tallahassee. There we go. So we're going to come in here, we will set 5,000 feet. Power. Let the aircraft slow down, and once we hit 180, we will go into indicated airspeed, and we will start heading downwards. Let the aircraft nose over, and then we're going to hit vertical speed. 900. Come off of that slightly. There we go. I'll try to keep that speed up around 180. Between 900 and 1,000 feet should be good. Monitor that speed. So we're going to be still flying out to the VOR. So once we hit that VOR, we'll go into heading mode. So we're 12 miles out. So there's 12,000 feet. I'll ding them in the back. So once we have a turn, we'll do our initial approach checks. Get ourselves ready for landing. That MD-82 is still down there on the ground, from what I can see. It's 9 miles out. Dead in game? Oh well. It's the game you play and the price you pay. Alright, 6 miles out from the VOR. The town's just down here. Can't see it unfortunately because of that cloud layer, which we're about to punch through. Speed's good, 180. We're monitoring that as we descend and making power adjustments as required. Got sniped from a mountain. And we are looking good. Tallahassee area traffic, Allegheny 32 over the Sierra Zulu Whiskey VOR, turning south to enter the left downwind for the ILS runway 36 Tallahassee. I'm not sure why I started to turn there. there we are. We're making our turn now to 190. It's 10,000 feet, so the lights are coming on. Just gonna take it a little bit further out so that we can make sure we're on the
begun
left
our
side.
final descent into Florida. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you.
And dial this down to 1,600 feet now, and we'll adjust as required. We're going to switch over to the CTAF frequency now. 1187. And their initial check. So cabin pressurization is automatic and it is working fine. Engine bleeds are low. Auxiliary fuel pumps are coming on. Engines 1 through 4. Passenger signs are on. Just rating them in. The back secret phase is good. Taxi light. Come on. Landing lights are on. Altimeters are set local pressure. Engine intake deflectors are retracted. That's good for now. We're coming into the clouds. 9,000 feet. That speed's good. Come back slightly on the power. Switch over now to the ILS frequency of 110.3, and we're going to dial in a 004 degree heading for the localizer. There we go. Speed's good, 8,000 feet. So the airport is just down here. We're just coming by it now, and the city of Tallahassee is right over here. But we got this cloud layer we're punching through at the moment. It's dark. Pretty heavy clouds. I wonder if we're going to get rain in here. A bit of precipitation. Not seeing any. Alright, we are picking up the glide slope. We're above it naturally. We are picking up the localizer. And we are 6.5 miles. Seems a little off, but okay. Oh yeah, we may be. Too many signs on my charts. Oh, it's coming through some of the cloud layer. Looks like we got multiple layers here. Came through whatever that was, and we still got a little bit more to go. Descending down, 6,600 feet, looking good. Come back a little bit more on the power. Keep the speed down to 180. Yeah, I'm doing great. We're coming in nicely, just coming through these cloud layers. There's the southern portion of the panhandle here in Florida. The Gulf of Mexico is just ahead of us. Just descending down so we can swing around and come in for the ILS. 6,000 feet. We're looking good. Descending nicely. 14 miles out from the airport at the moment. Still descending down towards the south, getting ourselves down in altitude. It's 5,500 feet, so we have 4,000 to go. There's the coastline coming into sight. You see the glide slope starting to come up as we're descending. All right, 20 miles, we're going to make our left turn. I'll bring us around for the intercept for the localizer. There we go, 20 miles. Come around. Initially to the east. Still descending nicely. About a 45-degree heading, which should take us in for a nice intercept. 3,700 feet. We're down here in the Panhandle area of Florida. There's 20 miles, one last thing in the cabin. There's the coastline, the Gulf of Mexico. You can see that low level of cloud there. I think that's the airport right there. 19 miles. Got 1,300 feet to go. Speed's down to 170. No, it might be that one up there. Two airports here. We'll have to see. A little bit bumpy. 16 miles. No, it looks like it's that one there. Couple 100 feet. I'll capture. Ooh, little freeze here. Sound is still going, so that's good. Come on. There we go. That's coming in. Approach mode is armed, turning onto the localizer. There's the airport ahead. Good enough. We are captured. We're below the glide slope. We are set. So engine's coming forward, maximum RPMs. I'll start bringing the speed down. Tallahassee area traffic, Allegheny 32 established on the localizer runway 36, 12 miles out of Tallahassee. Right, it's going to be flaps 40 landing, which means our landing speed is going to be down about 90 knots. We're doing good. So, engine's coming back. We're at 10 miles. We'll let the speed start to bleed off. See the airport ahead. Oh, Jacksonville just came up. I'm going to ignore them as I am busy. Flaps 15. Speed starting to slow. Bringing up the power. It's 8 miles, gear down. Bring up power to adjust for drag. Gear down 3 green. There's glide slope capture. Bring the power back since we're starting downhill. Flaps 25. Try to maintain that 120 as we come in. Miles. Thousand feet. Flaps full. Speed 110. 700 feet. $600 feet. 500 feet, I have control. Gear down, 3 green flaps full, cabin is notified, runway is identified. Winds are slightly out of the right. So a little bit of a push to the left, it's fine. 2 whites, 2 reds, good. Drifting to the right, correcting. Alright, power back. Bring the speed back. It's 110. 100. Hold the flare. And we are down. Welcome to Tallahassee. Alright, we'll go up to the next one.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Florida. The local time is 4:52 p.m. and it's currently about 81 degrees Fahrenheit. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins, as items may have been shifted during the flight. We thank you for flying with us.
Alright, we're going to get off here, circle around here, we're going to head down to the terminal. Tallahassee area traffic, Allegheny 32, clear runway 36, taxiing to the terminal. Alright, so we are down. Control locks are engaged. Condition levers for engines 2 and 3 are in feather. Flaps are being retracted. Collision light is over to red. Landing lights are off. Strobe lights off. Engine intake deflectors are closed. Window heat is off. Probe heats are off. Flight taxi switch is to taxi. Yacht dampers are off. Weather radar is in up, and we will taxi down. Alright, so the terminal is down at the south end here, so we're going to carry on here on Alpha, and we're going to go all the way down to Bravo, which looks like it's right at the bottom end. These are all those other ramps I was mentioning, FBOs and other stuff in here. And again, that MD-80 should be sitting down there at the terminal, which is over there. So we'll see. So let's see what ramp I want to go into. Let's say Alpha 3. And of course, it doesn't tell me what is what, as they're labeled differently. So we will ignore that. Actually, we're going to go down Charlie. It's not on my list at the moment. I've got some other stuff I got to do and other flights I want to make, so we'll see. Oh, there he is. He looks like he's getting ready to push. So we'll come in on Charlie. We'll leave Bravo to him. So we've got another half dozen of these flights to finish off the series. And then we have a helicopter series I'm going to be doing. Tour of the Great Lakes in a helicopter. Alright, so we'll stay up here while he passes by. It's a little noisy out there. Well, he passes by outside, and we're just going to go up to the corner gate here. And that will do it for us today. Sheriff has a ramp up here. I guess the local police helicopters are based out of there. Yeah, I don't have the MD-80, so let's put it in as a A320. We're just gonna pull up to like Alpha, what is it, Alpha 5 here on the corner. We'll go Alpha 6. Pull it in right here. There's supposed to be gates in behind here as well, but this is a generic building. This looks good. Alright. So engines to flight idle. Parking brake is set. We are good. Emergency brakes are on. Taxi light is now off. I'm going to shut down engine number 2 and 3. 1 and 4 going into feather. Power levers are set. Weather radar is in-op. We'll turn off the DMEs. Engines can come off now. Anti-collision light will come off. Position lights will stay on. Passenger signs can come off. AC generators are fine. DC external power is on. We'll turn off those, and we'll turn off those, and that's all good. Those will come off as well. Over to the back. And there we go. So everybody is here, and we've made it down to Florida on the east coast of the U.S. We'll be back again tomorrow. I think we're heading from here up to Atlanta, Georgia, and we'll see you on that one. Tommy, thanks for coming and hanging out on the stream. Take care. Bye for now.